just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With BFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. BFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feels so right. With diet-free life, the health futures lose pride.
What's up, everybody? This is Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson. I'm thankful that you are here. This is an impromptu opportunity for me to share some information that I believe will be helpful for those who would like to be in the clear, like clarity. Someone who wants to have a thorough understanding of certain things as it pertains to our health. Now, if you have questions in addition to what I'm going to be talking about, my email is provided. You can contact me. You can also sign up for my free newsletter. Just click on the links below. And other than that, if you're on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe. And when you hit that button that says subscribe, make sure you say, I want all of it. I want to know when Robert uploads some information. I want to know when Robert goes live. Now, you don't have to always watch it when it happens, but you know it's there. Now, today is going to be interesting, because I'm not going to keep you long. I'm going to address, I don't know if it's gossip, if it's, anyway, there's a product that I endorse called BalanceOil. In my 30 years of being a clinical nutritionist, I believe is the best supplement that I've ever seen. And that's largely based on the timing. The world is in need of what it provides. And I don't endorse many things, but this is the number one that I would endorse. Like, I believe everybody would benefit from this product. Young, old, white, black, brown, doesn't matter. And I'm not going to go into detail on why I believe that with everything in me, and I would debate anybody on it. And so please know, reach out to me. I would welcome a debate with anyone, because I believe in it so much, and the science is so clear, and the world is in a place of inflammation. It's so bad that this product and the test that comes with it is gold standard. Now, what happened, and this happens quite a bit, is one of my clients, and I love my clients, right? I do. She had met this woman who, for some reason, is extremely bitter, just a very challenged, mental health challenged human being. And who knows why some people are just like that. I don't get it. And what happens is they feel like they need to put people down or say things negative because maybe it's not their product, or it's not a product that goes with their agenda. And they don't realize it, but they can make people feel bad. And people start questioning their supplement or whatever it is that they're doing. Now, let me say up front, I like when people are questioned. I like being questioned. I think it's okay to be questioned. I think that's what life is about. We should be questioning things, and question not from a negative place where you're wanting to create, or you're coming from a place of hate, but question so that you can challenge yourself to find true clarity and make sure you're not wasting your time. That's why I love test-based nutrition. It's like you can take a supplement, but you don't really know if the supplement is working unless there's a test. And it's an objective test, right? It's third-party tests, no connections to the product. And the test, being blood work, will tell you, right? Like, you could say, hey, Robert, I'm not a type 2 diabetic. And I could go, Well, why don't we get tested? And you would go to your doctor, get a hemoglobin A1C test, which is the gold standard to confirm that you have type 2 diabetes. And the results will come in and we will know. At that point, you could say, nah, I don't care what that test says. Well, you're in denial at this point. Now, what you could do is you could say, you know what, I'm going to go to a different doctor and get another test. Okay. Then you get another hemoglobin A1C test and it comes back and it says, yes, you are a type 2 diabetic. We now know that you're a type 2 diabetic at that moment in time in your life, because that is the gold standard to confirm whether or not you have type 2 diabetes based on the guidelines, the standardized guidelines by most institutions around the world. Okay, so we got that. So this product that I encourage my client to use, called BalanceOil, she's happy with it. She gets her test and she's looking forward to getting her follow-up tests. Well, then the person who is being a hater goes to her and says, you know, there's seed oils in that BalanceOil. That's why I don't recommend it to my clients. And when she first told me, when she first shared this with me, I laughed, and I wasn't laughing at her. It's just so outrageous to me, okay, that she would actually lie. So I shared my 2 cents with this client, and time went by, and I found out it was still in her head, because she was given this paper, and I'm going to show you the paper, that says there's seed oils in BalanceOil. Okay. Now, before I share this with you guys, this paper, and walk you through it, and for those of you who are who currently use BalanceOil, you're going to love this, because it's going to give you even more belief and have more credibility in how amazing this product is. Then some of you are partners with me, right? We're in the family, and we endorse the product and we make it available to people, which is great. Love it. It'll give you confidence, because if this paper came up for me, it'll probably show up to you. You'll probably be somewhere, someone will make a comment, or maybe over Thanksgiving, you got some family members. Yeah, I looked into it and I saw it has seed oils. Okay. So number one thing that we got to understand is what is meant by seed oils. Okay. Seed oils, you've heard even Mr. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy Jr., has mentioned that seed oils is a problem. Well, not all seed oils are bad. Okay. I've written articles on this. Many seed oils have been used for years. When we say seed oils, it's almost like a slang word, and we're putting these cooking oils that have been highly processed, or these ingredients that have been highly processed, and they're rich in a fatty acid called linoleic acid. Those are the ones that are bad. So highly processed cooking oils that have a good amount of linoleic acid in it, which is an omega-6 fatty acid. That's what we're saying is not good. Okay. Now, the common term that we associate with linoleic acid that's been highly processed is seed oil, because we think of cooking oils, right? So safflower oil has a good amount of linoleic acid, which is the bad guy, causes inflammation. Soybean oil, which is the #1 consumed edible oil in the United States and Canada, over 50% of the oil in soybean oil is linoleic acid. So stay away from it. That's a seed oil. So that's the kind of seed oil that we're referring to. Now, linoleic acid by itself in a natural form, which you get a little bit of linoleic acid if you ate a steak. If you ate salmon that is known for its omega-3 fatty acids that reduces inflammation, salmon even has naturally formed linoleic acid in it, but it's not highly processed. It hasn't had additives added to it, and bleaching and colorization and all these bad things that happen to the oils when they become an oil that we buy in a bottle. right? So in a natural form, like with walnuts, linoleic acid is fine. So again, we're talking about when we say seed oils, when I say seed oils, when I write about seed oils, it's the seed oils that are mostly like cooking oils that have a good amount of linoleic acid in it that's gone through highly processed. And we know that that causes some serious problems for a whole bunch of reasons. So now we know what we're talking about. Now, notice I said soybean oil is rich in linoleic acid. I didn't say soybeans or edamame beans. If you go to a Japanese restaurant, you eat edamame beans, that doesn't mean you're eating a whole bunch of highly processed omega or linoleic acid in the form of what we call a seed oil. You're eating soybeans. I've been eating soy for years. I buy soy milk to this day. When my kids stop breastfeeding after a year, they transition straight to soy milk. I know that soy milk's not negative. Now, I am concerned with things that are GMO, but I buy non-GMO. And that's a whole nother conversation. But soybeans and seed oils that are rich in linoleic acid are two separate things. And this is where the person who was talking to my client and friend was misinformed. Well, is misinformed. And she thought she had a one-up, which is so sad. These people are just nasty people in this world. So anyway, I'm going to share my screen so you can see what was given to me. And let me see. Got to make sure I do this right because I don't share that often. Okay, here we go. All righty. So now you can see what I can see. You can see what I can see. Actually, let me try that. Okay. So let's just go through this. I'm going to move as fast as I can. It says at the top, Zenzino, which is a company that owns the BalanceOil. Zenzino tocopherols, which is a vitamin E. Seed oil explanation. Zenzino tocopherol seed oil explanation. This summary explains the ingredient called tocopherols in Zenzino omega oils, written in simple language for clients. It says, what are tocopherols? Tocopherols are forms of vitamin E. Okay, and that's a really good vitamin E right there. It's real. It's not synthetic. And they are added to oils and supplements to prevent them from going bad. They act as a natural preservative. So tocopherols are vitamin E. Now, let me know if you guys can't see this, if it needs to be bigger. I believe everybody can see it. Okay. Now, then it says where Zenzino gets their tocopherols. Okay, it says Zenzino states that their tocopherols come from refined soybean oil distillates. Refined soybean oil distillates. Now, when that person saw that, they automatically, I saw it, seed oils, they're seed oils, stay away from it, it's bad. They couldn't even tell you what a distillate is. And they saw soybean and they went to a conclusion. Remember, linoleic acid is the thing that we're concerned with. Okay. So, see, that's why, like, when you know things, it's so funny because you'll have someone run to a conclusion. And it's so sad. Instead of taking a beat and maybe asking someone or look into it a little deeper. ADHD can get a whole bunch of adults in trouble because this woman who is trying to be a hater definitely has ADHD. because I would look up what is a soybean oil distillate. Then it says, even though the refining process removes soy protein, which is the process, that's distillates, the ingredient still comes from soybean oil. Soybean oil is a seed oil. But we're talking about, remember, you want clarity, because I'll be in a meeting with someone, or if I was debating, and they would say, well, soybean oil is a seed oil. I said, can you please define what you mean by seed oil? I'll just ask that, because it's important that we both have the same definition. Because we have a different definition, or then we need to have common ground before we start making claims. I just share with you what I refer to as seed oil. A seed oil is mostly cooking oils and ingredients that are oils highly processed and then turned into a cooking oil, or is used as an ingredient in certain products that you may buy, crackers, energy bars, etc. Right? Because when you look at the chips, for instance, it'll say safflower oil. Well, we know that that's the safflower oil. That's also the safflower oil and cooking oil that has been extremely highly processed and is very rich in linoleic acid, because it's the linoleic acid that is what's not good. Okay. So when you read it again, knowing that even though the refining process removes soy proteins, so the edamame beans like soy protein, the ingredient still comes from soybean oil. It's extracted. So they're only taking what they need, which is the vitamin E, from that oil. They're not taking everything else. Everything else is left behind. So soybean oil is a seed oil, but not the way we define seed oils, because there's no linoleic acid in balance oil. None. Okay, so then it says why this matters. People who avoid seed oils usually avoid anything that originally comes from soybean oil, even if it is refined. The source of the ingredient matters, not only how it was processed. I don't see linoleic acid anywhere because it's stripped. So key points for clients. Tocopherols are vitamin E preservatives. Zinzino uses tocopherols that come from soybean oil. Refining removes proteins, but the ingredient still comes from seed oil. Marketing words such as non-allergenic or refined do not change the fact that the source is soybean oil. Conclusion: Zinzino omega oils contain tocopherols, vitamin E, that come from soybean oil. Like there's a product called Zeal that uses all natural ingredients. Zeal has, you'll see the word rice bran. Well, rice bran is an oil you can buy at the store that is a highly processed seed oil. A lot of vegan restaurants use it. That's rich in linoleic acid. Well, there's no linoleic acid, which is the problem child, in the Zeal. But you will see rice bran. And that's a patented product that they're able to isolate in the rice bran a certain ingredient that makes it extremely powerful. So clients who avoid all seed oil derived ingredients should be aware of this sourcing. Okay. But again, what are we avoiding? What is the concern? Linoleic acid in its natural state is fine. Seed oils are highly processed. They've been deodorized. They've had, certain things added to it. They've gone through being heated at very high temperatures, cool down, heat it up again. They go through this process, and why they're refined is so that they can last. And we're extracting tocopherols from the oil of a soybean. We are not creating seed oils and then extracting tocopherols from that, because there would not be any. There you go. So, what else is there to say? What do you think of someone like this? Now, I wish I could be in front of this person and have given this presentation to them, but they wouldn't want to be in front of me. They wouldn't, because they would rather be right than to get a different outcome. That's what Dr. Phil used to say all the time. A lot of people who are stubborn, don't know how to communicate, don't want to be embarrassed, can't eat crow. I don't mind eating crow. I've eaten it. I've made mistakes, and I'll raise my hand and let people know, hey, and then go from there, because I don't know it all. I don't. I keep learning. I mean, I learned some really amazing things in the last few days that I can't wait to share with everybody that I didn't know. Matter of fact, like, I just posted an article, and I should put it in the description underneath. Actually, I will. So if you don't see it, look again, because, you know, depending on when you caught this. But I wrote an article on inflammation and Black folks. And what you're going to find in that article very interesting is how Black folks in the United States, about 80% of them, have a genetic disorder. That's not really a disorder. It's just part of the evolution genetically, where they're more likely to have higher levels of inflammation because of certain enzymes and how they work in the body compared to people who they don't go back to a certain region in Africa. And we're talking about inflammation. And if you think about this, right, we know for a fact that inflammation drives all of these health hardships. There's a health disparity with Black folks compared to everybody else, where the obesity rates are way higher for a Black woman, for instance, compared to a white woman. A Black woman is more likely to experience Alzheimer's, various cancers, compared to a white woman. Black people are more likely to have high blood pressure than a white person. And inflammation drives all those things. So I became clear on this genetic component that Black folks who are out of balance with omega-6 to omega-3 are more likely to be out of balance because of this genetic. Let me see, how do I say it? I'm not going to call it's not a disorder. It's just part of how we were evolved. And I'm going to do a whole talk on it. So, but knowing that everybody, but every Black person should go out of their way to be using BalanceOil based on the science of what I know to be true. It could neutralize and make things a little bit better. The grass is greener if a person is using BalanceOil. Yeah. Or eating fish every day and twice on Sunday. So everybody would benefit. That's why at the very beginning I said it's a supplement that everybody needs. And it's so sad that people don't know about it. So now, if you're hearing this for the first time about BalanceOil, depending on the time that you watch this or hear this, there is a Black Friday special. You can message me. You can reach out to the person who shared this video with you. Maybe they're one of my partners or they're one of our coaches, and which means they're a partner. And they can help you get your balance oil, because right now you buy one, you get one for free. That is win, win, win. But make sure you get the tests, because there's no point in taking a product without having a baseline when there's an opportunity to have a baseline. So you could find out where you are, take the balance oil for 4 months, which is the life of a red blood cell. They're going to give you a free test at that point so you can do a comparison. Where were my inflammation levels before I got on balance oil, and where's my inflammation levels now? If you have high blood pressure and you're not hearing, you're missing this. Why choose to be out of balance when this is something that you can do like right now? Remember, inflammation is what we're talking about, because inflammation is the driver for all, I'm using the word all, chronic illnesses, chronic conditions, because I can't find any condition, and I'm sure it's out there, so I'm open, that is not driven or worsened by inflammation. That is the culprit. So you want overall health, you want total health, you want to live your best and healthiest life, you got to address inflammation. And no one can argue this, because that's the one thing chiropractors, doctors, personal trainers, dietitians, nutritionists, massage therapists, everybody is going to agree that you want to calm the inflammation. And now we have a test where you can actually find out what your inflammation levels are and then do something about it. You don't even have to schedule a doctor's appointment. Man, this is awesome. All right, let me see. Who am I talking to? Is that Danny on here? I don't know if that's Danny, but if that is that Danny, Danny's an interesting character if it's the Danny I know. He's a dear friend of mine. And his mom and Danny, they don't know you. They don't know your last name with it. Anyway, Danny gave me, like, if this is the Danny, he's using or was using balance oil. His mom was using it. She's getting older. She gets on a drug, loses some weight, and has no understanding of how important the balance oil is. It is helping her, and this is where education comes in, right? As I just talked about, you have people sharing misinformation. There's a lot of ignorance. Ignorance, not a being mean. That's a word that means unaware. People are unaware. And they're assuming what they look like and how they feel today is how they define health. Man, it's so sad. As you just learned, and what I just talked about, and what I'm going to be talking about as far as inflammation and how it's created some disparities with certain ethnic groups. See, you don't know when your inflammation is low grade chronic. You can't see it. It's not like you see smoke coming out your body. It's not like you can hear it. But what happens is there. And then certain things get expressed. Fibromyalgia. Now you got high blood pressure. Now you got migraines. Now you got gout. Now you got lupus. It expresses in different conditions, and it could have been avoided. But people don't know they're living with low-grade chronic inflammation. And that's why you do the tests. Rule it out. Like I told a lady today from my hometown of Anderson, Indiana, I said, ma'am, she's 80 years old and she got her tests follow-up and all her numbers were so much better. I said, and she knows my mom. I said, I told my mom, And here's what my mom said, and I'll tell you what I told her. When I told her what I'm about to share with you, my mom's response was boy, get out of here. And then we kind of laughed. But I said, Mom, I really believe that you are still here because of BalanceOil. That's what I told my mom. And I totally 1000% believe that. Now, what happens when someone, because I've seen this happen, get off of the testing in the BalanceOil? You know, like my client last year, December 5th is almost here. She got off of it early, Danny. And 6-7 months later, blood clot. She went to bed, blood clot, and she's no longer here. I can show you the text messages, everything. And I was like, what are you doing? One of my other buddies from childhood died earlier this year. Me and Crystal kept trying. I was like, dude, I will buy it for you, because he had kidney challenges. When things start going bad and they get really bad, then there's no going back. Oh, let me get serious now. He's gone. Anyway, I mean, you can. Okay, so that's Dan from Boston. I'm glad it's not the other Dan. Okay, it's not Dan. So good, because I didn't want Danny to feel bad. He actually goes by Danny. All right, so I know who this is. What's up, Dan? Oh, man, but I was telling the truth, because, let me be a little bit more direct, because it's not the Danny that I thought it was. Danny is so ignorant. And again, he's unaware and don't want to be informed that he definitely has compromised his mom's health. Definitely. And they say ignorance is bliss. Well, I don't think so. Not all the time. Because his mom got on the GLP-1 drug and lost a lot of weight, and she's feeling like she don't need anything else, because she looks at her weight as being indicative of her health. That's why I am pushing to the current administration, the Department of Health and Human Services. Nutrition education is king. Nutrition education is king. And that's why they're talking to me. So there's interest. So let's see where it ends up. I'm working on it. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. I hope we have clarity. I'm telling you, you're going to meet someone who's going to demonize something. It could be BalanceOil, it could be something else. And this, you got to clarify to these people. Linoleic acid in its natural state, like in a walnut, is not bad. It's essential. Our bodies need it. The problem is that when we get too much of it, and the way it's processed, and the concentrated amounts that we're getting because of the foods that we eat. I read the other day in one study, that the average person in America consumes 5 tablespoons of these unhealthy seed oils a day. Where are you getting it at? If you eat out, you're getting it because they're using vegetable oils, soybean oils, safflower. They're using oils that have gone through that process and are rich in linoleic acid. It's accumulative, and it gets into your fat cells. And the more linoleic acid you have in the cell, we know that you're going to gain weight. The more omega-3 you have and less omega-6, you're going to lose weight. Study after study, National Institute of Health have done randomized. We know this. We know it. So this isn't a guess. This is not an opinion. Anyway, just make sure that, when you talk about seed oils, and I'm going to work harder at explaining it, because if you mention linoleic acid is essential. Again, you can get it naturally from a steak, from salmon, from walnuts, etc. When it's in this natural state, it has not been manipulated, has not been concentrated, has not been boiled, heated, deodorized, hasn't gone through all of those things that cause it to be a major toxin-free radical. because that's what it is. It's been oxidized. Okay. All right. I'm out of here. Thank you very much. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with somebody. Every once in a while, just hit share if you're on YouTube. Share it to your to Facebook. Help me get the word out. I appreciate you guys. I really do. And I'll be back Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm actually going to go live on Thanksgiving. And then I'm going to start introducing you to my co-host that I'm bringing on to the show. You're going to meet 4 amazing human beings, 3 women, 1 guy. They're all nice. They're all special in their own way. Again, this is Dying Free Life. I'm Robert Ferguson. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope the woman with the misinformation and tends to hate on people get a chance to watch this, which I doubt, because she doesn't want to be corrected. She would rather remain uninformed. Until the next one, I got to go.
In a world of times, there's a new way to see. No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right.